Good afternoon, Dwayne, Dry Creek Wrangler School. Pour yourself a cup of coffee, pull up a chair, let's chat a little bit. Want to talk today about 4 things I wish I had known before I got into the Wrangler lifestyle. Now, let me tell you right now that this is not 4 things like I wish I had known how to train a horse, or I wish I had known how to saddle, or this is a philosophy video. I want to tell you up front, okay? So number 1, we'll just get right into it. The number 1 focus and purpose of wrangling is not horses. This is a view, this is a way to look at things, this is an understanding of the life. And if you can get this understanding, a lot of other stuff will fall into place. We go into cowboying in a lot of times. We go into cowboying, we go into wrangling, we go into packing because we want a life that revolves around horses. Well, wrangling and packing, the foundational focus of that life is not horses. It's people. It's people. Now, by the way, I want to take a moment here. I've had several folks from overseas and folks from here in the States ask, what is packing? Packing comes from the word that we get packages from. Packing is taking gear, for instance, camping gear and hunting gear, and putting it in packs or bags that are called panniers. There's different ways of doing it. Putting it on packed mules and leading the mules up into remote country, hauling stuff. So it's hauling stuff on mules. Usually it applies for hunters in remote back country. It's how to get them and their stuff in, how to get their stuff and the game that they got back out, okay? So it's not about horses. It's about people. Your horse doesn't pay your bills. Your horse doesn't tip you. Your horse doesn't get online and leave a positive review for you. It's about people. Let's put this in perspective, okay? I worked for an outfit once. A 1-hour ride for one person was $99. $99 an hour. Not because it was a high-end exclusive resort, but because we were so far out from where we were. The care of a horse was super expensive. Hay was expensive. Fare to come out and shoe the horses was expensive. Everything was expensive. So, but it was $99 an hour. So you got dad, you got mom, and you got 2 kids. They want to take a 1-hour horseback ride. They paid $400 for that. Let that sink in for a minute, okay? $400. How long did dad have to work and save up in order to be able to take this vacation for them to do this thing they had been dreaming of? Or how much money was he putting on credit cards that is going to take the next 2 or 3 years to pay off? So they roll up, mom, dad, and 2 kids. Just picture it, okay? They roll up and they get out and they want to go on a 1-hour horseback ride. Maybe they've never been on a horse before. They're a little bit nervous. Horses are big. It's kind of scary, but this is an adventure. And they're shelling out hard-earned money to do this. Maybe the little girl, she's always dreamed of horses like little girls do, and she's got posters on her wall. And they watch Western movies, and they're enamored with the lifestyle and the adventure of it all. And so they show up with stars in their eyes, and they're going to go on this horseback ride. And you're the wrangler. Now maybe you sit a horse really nice, and you're wearing a real nice pair of tight Wrangler jeans, and you got a new hat, but you've got the personality of a potato. What kind of ride are they going to have? How much fun are they going to have? You don't spend time getting to know them, being personable with them. You don't look at them and you don't care because you don't see the trepidation in their eyes, a little bit of fear, a little bit of nervousness. You don't take the time to calm them and talk them through it and let them know. You don't chat with the kids. The horse they're on, Of course, you always put the little kids on the calmest, oldest, dead broke horse. Well, what that means is that horse stops and eats every 3 steps and they get frustrated. You don't try and look back. You don't care. You just keep riding. This is a once in a lifetime experience for a lot of people. Once in a lifetime. They'll probably never get a chance to do this again. And it rises and falls on you. And all you care about is you're riding a horse. I've worked in Wrangling with guys before who have cowboyed. I mean, like cattle ranches, who grew up on the cattle ranches. They make the worst wranglers. They're the best horsemen, and they make the worst wranglers. Because as a rule, cowboying is a solitary lifestyle. And a cowboy is often not a people person. So in off season or for whatever reason, they decide to do this and they get hired because they're great with horses. They're fantastic with horses. But they're terrible wranglers because they're not good with people. It's about the people. The better you are with people, the better you will do at this job. And it's you have to be in tune with them. They show up. This is me. You got to have your own way. All right. They show up. Let's say mom and dad. And I've had them show up with like 3 little boys. Okay. Mom shows up with 3 little boys because in Alaska, dad's fishing. And they don't want to go fishing. It's wet and it's cold and they don't want to be down there. So she takes the boys and comes up and they go horseback riding while dad's fishing. So she shows up with these 3 little boys and they're like 6 and 8 and 9. All right. And she comes up, introduces them. Okay, this is Hunter and Braden and Chad. And my name is Julianne. Well, there ain't no way I'm going to remember that. Ain't no way I'm going to remember. I'm terrible with names. So I look at them and I say, oh, nope, not today. And I point them, I say, you're Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and your mom. And so then it's personal attention. I stop and I pay personal attention to the boy. All right, boys, today I'll never remember your names. You're Huey, you're Dewey, you're Louie, and your mom. And then I'll call them by those names all day long, and they get the personal attention. And listen, what does a mama want? A good mama? What does mama want? Mama wants her kids to be safe and her kids to be happy and her kids to have a good time. And you care enough to take care of those kids. You care enough to pay attention to those kids. And you care enough to provide what is important to mom. And those kids go home, first time they've ever been on a horse, and there was a cowboy that stopped and looked them square in the eyes and shook their hands and talked to them and joked with them. You just made a memory for life. I've had so many guests come in and say, well, went on a ride once before at a dude ranch somewhere, and the horse ran off and scraped me off under the tree, and the wrangler didn't help. He didn't do this, and it was the most terrible experience. And we said we never were going to do it again, but we decided to give it one more try. And they entrust me with that one more chance at a chance of a lifetime. That's a privilege. That's an honor. And I take it serious. Why? Because I take them serious. Okay? It's about the people. Work on your people skills. All right? Number 2, I don't want to make a 20-minute video here. All right? Number 2, see, Mama told me I should write. Okay, here we go. Help me out, Mama. What was number 2?
The more you know.
That's right. Okay. The more you know, the better you are at this job. I know a whole lot about almost nothing. But I know a little bit about a whole lot. Now, how does that apply? Because I'm dealing with people. And I've been to 9 different countries. And I'm very, very, very well read. I read a lot. I don't have a television. All right, you want to know a lot? Turn the TV off, turn the Xbox off, and pick up a book. Okay? Live. Be an intelligent, interesting person. That is a choice that you make for you for life. I'm going to be an intelligent, interesting person. And you will not get that from television. You have, when you do this life, you have people from all over the United States, from all walks of life, from all cultures, from all viewpoints of things. And you have people from Germany. You have people from Holland. You have people from Ireland. You have people from Cambodia. You have people from China. You have people from Israel. You have people from all over the world. And they have come and they've entrusted to you that moment in time, that chunk of money, and that dream that they've held for years. Be an intelligent person. Be an interesting person. I can have a conversation with a nurse. I've spent some time out in remote Alaska in law enforcement, and I've had first aid training, and I've done emergency first responder. I've been through some stuff. I can talk. I can talk to him. I get a fellow from the military. I can talk to him. He's on leave. I got 2 sons in the military, and I keep up with what's going on, and I can talk to him. I get a mom who comes in, 2 or 3 little kids. I raised 7 kids. We can just carry on a conversation. She wants to talk about cooking. I watch Gordon Ramsay on YouTube. I can talk about cooking. It doesn't challenge my manhood at all. Okay, what do you want to talk about? Because I try to be an interesting, intelligent person. Okay, expand your brain. It's a muscle. It's a muscle. Turn off the TV, pick up a book, and read. Okay, so that's number 2. The more you know, the better you are at the job. Number 3. When you
no religion, no
yeah,
politics.
Okay. No religion, no politics, no cussing. It's a lose, lose, lose situation. Okay, you'll not win. And people, a vacation. The root word is to vacate. To vacate, to leave it. People leave their life and the drudgery and the stress and the conflict of their life to come out and to vacate on vacation. All right. Now, some people will just knee jerk because it's so much part of back home. They'll bring up politics, and they'll bring up, some of them will bring up religion. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right. Even on this channel. Now, there's no question. I mean, I'm a believer, and I'm not ashamed of God, of being a Christian, of Jesus Christ. But this is not a religious channel, and I do not get into religious discussions. And some folks, out of, an honest heart, sometimes they get on here and they want to get into theological discussions. Not doing it. Don't do it. Not having it. Or politics. I don't care who you vote for. Okay, you can vote for anybody you want. I don't care. All right, how do you treat your horse? That's our common ground. All right, so don't get into that trap. Politics, religion, and cussing. Keep it rated G. All right, it's a family-oriented life. All right, when you're done today and you and the guys go hang out at the bar or whatever it is that you do, all right, that's you, that's there. But when you're out on the trail, you're not there to offend anybody, okay? So keep it clean and keep it right. And treat kids like they're kids, and treat women with respect. Even if they don't respect themselves, you treat them with respect. Okay? Number 4, when you leave the ranch, you're boss. So be boss. This is a hard one, especially if you're young. Now, you work for somebody owns the place, and you work for them, and they have rules for them horses, and those rules are steeped in safety. Okay? There's a purpose for them. When you lead that string out, it is your job to enforce those rules. Now, you have to do it based on your age and your experience. You have to find your own way to get it done, respectfully or whatever needs to be done. But you've got to do it. You've got to do it. When I was 25 years old, I mentioned in the last video, which, by the way, I will link in the description to this one, that I had gone to work for the Absaroka Mountain Lodge. out of Wapiti, Wyoming. I was 25 years old, and I took a string out one day, and there were several people in it, and it was like a 4-hour ride. And so we'd go part way, and then I would stop, build a fire, campfire, cook lunch for everybody, fry them hamburgers and chicken breast and whatever, and then we'd ride the rest of the way back. Well, there was a couple with their teenage daughter on that ride. They were in their 40s, I guess. When you're 25, everybody's older. But they were in their 40s, and they were a very successful, affluent couple, professionals. I think one of them was a college profession. The other one was like a chemical engineer. Okay. The wife had decided, for whatever reason on that ride, the rules didn't apply to her. And so the rules were walk, single file, narrow trail in Wyoming. Okay, walk, single file down the trail. And she would pull her horse back till the horse in front of her got further ahead so she could trot or lope to catch up. She'd get bored and she'd swing off the trail and go around the trees and through the brush and everything. We were a national forest, and you stay on the trails because you can't be trampling stuff down. I mean, there were rules that had reason for them. Horses are creatures of habit, and whatever you let a horse get away with today, they'll do it tomorrow on their own. And if tomorrow the other wrangler catches that same horse and puts a frail elderly grandmother on her, and that horse has decided, you know what, I'm just going to trot, I'm going to leave the trail, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, somebody's going to get hurt. So the rules have a reason. And I kept telling her respectfully, politely, you got to stop that. That's against the rules. You can't do that. Well, she wouldn't listen. Well, we got to where we were going, and I built the fire and cooked the lunch. And when everybody's done, I went and gathered all the horses one by one and put everybody on their horse. Got on my horse, and when I got on my horse, I turned around and I pointed at her. And I said, if you break one of my rules again for the rest of the day, I'm going to pull the headstall off your horse. And I'm going to lead you like a 6-year-old child all the way back to the ranch. Now, her husband was sitting there on his horse beside her, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to whip him. But he said, no, you tell her, man, she won't listen to me. And we got back to the ranch for no more trouble. You have to do that. You have to. If you can't do that, then you need to sit down and think hard about your future, because people's lives depend on it. Okay? Now, I worked for an outfit in Alaska, and we had a young lady that I worked with. Now, she's been on here and commented, so I'm not going to give her name because I don't want to embarrass her. But she was wonderful, is wonderful. I mean, just the most wonderful young lady you could ever want to meet. She was raised on a ranch out west. I mean, just a true cowgirl angel. I mean, she could ride better than I could. All right. She always had the best attitude and was one of the a ranch girl, one of the hardest workers you could ever want to meet. Just an all-round delightful person. She had one problem with the Wrangling life. It didn't cause me a problem. It didn't cause the ranch a problem, but it made things really difficult for her. And that was, she was nice. Always nice. And I've seen her come in just tore up because guests wouldn't listen and guests had been rude. And I don't know if you've experienced it in their life, this may come as a shock to you, but people can be jerks. People can be wonderful, but there's people out there that can be jerks. And sometimes the only language they understand is a physical or a verbal kink in the neck. And she was just too sweet, too nice to be able to do that. And it made her job for her hard, and which is too bad. Everything else, she was just wonderful, and she did wonderful, and I always felt bad. But you got to be able to do this, okay? So these are just 4 things I wish I'd known, 4 things that might help you. Stop focusing on brushing out your horse's mane as a wrangler, and stop focusing on the people, and get the philosophy of it and get it right, okay? So I hope this helps you, and if it does, click like, leave a comment, share it with somebody, subscribe if you haven't, hit that bell, and we'll catch you next time. Talk to you later.